My honest advice to someone who wants freedom in their business, financial freedom, physical location freedom, time freedom, emotional freedom, right? That's one we don't talk about a lot. So I'm doing things different. I am going to film this, edit it, get it on YouTube within an hour. And so if this seems really rough and unscripted, well, it is. But this is a topic that I really want to talk about with you and just share some insights. So I have my notes. They're all chicken scratch, but I promise this is coming from a place of just my experience in running my marketing business these last 6 years and being in the online industry over the last 8, 9 years. So my name is Steph. Excited to have you here. Pop into my newsletter if you're not already in it. You will receive, just upon joining, 5 of my top downloads from people that are inside my membership, the pack that they access the most. I give you 3 of the best secrets of social selling from my course for free, and also a funnel template for $1. A lot of good stuff there. So if you're not in it, hop in it. So, what does a freedom focused business even look like? For me, that is being able to really call the shots of when I'm working, controlling that I'm making money every single month, right? Like, so for me, my freedom focused business right now brings in about $8,000 US dollars a month on average, and choosing when I work, not thinking about work all the time, right? So, really being able to be offline a lot. Like, for example, last week I was on Facebook for an hour and 14 minutes total for the entire week, right? So really setting up structure. And what I mean by that is really only having to work maybe 5 to 10 hours a week on my business in totality. Many weeks it's just about 5 hours a week. So most of my time is spent doing something like this, where I'm very actively engaging with like a client or coaching a Zoom or filming a video. Boom. And then just a little bit of time on other things. Okay. And having that recurring revenue come in. And so I want to go over 5 or 6 of my top thoughts on how I have created a freedom focused business. Stick around till the end because I'm sharing the good stuff all the way till then. So, first of all, freedom focused business. One thing that I am doing to create a lot of freedom with my business, I batch. Now, people are like, okay, batching content isn't anything new. I'm not talking about batching content here. So, I batch all of my coaching. Okay. So, I like today is Tuesday. No, today is Wednesday. See, I don't even know what day of the week it is. Today is Wednesday. On Monday of this week, I did Zoom calls pretty much all day long. Meaning, though, that then for the next 10 days, I don't really have a single Zoom call scheduled. So I really heavily load all of a certain activity into one time, right? Like batching, nothing new. I have a whole video on it. But the key is not to just think about batching your content, but other activities in your business. So for me, it's much easier to be in a coaching client mode like one day out of 2 days of the month than to have a bunch of calls staggered that I'm having to rearrange my schedule in my daily life, right? Okay, next up for freedom focused business is really learning how to prioritize activities. Okay, I have an entire training on this inside my membership, the pack. It's so essential because people get this wrong all the time. You may have a list of like all these things to do, and then you suck at prioritizing what you should be actually doing when. Okay. And you've probably heard the word like IPA, income producing activities. Like if you've been online in a hot minute, hopefully to God, you've heard that word. But people get this wrong all the time. They see their list of all the things they should do, and then they get so overwhelmed by it. And then they spend hours doing something that isn't really going to make that much of a difference in the long run, right? So this goes back to the 80-20 Pareto principle. I have a whole video on that. It is such a key thing to learn how to prioritize what matters most in your business. How do you get better at this? You can watch trainings, you can do all those things, but I would say this is really having like where a mentor or coach speaking into your life makes the world of a difference, because they can help you figure out what is really, really essential. Okay. Next up is boundaries. Okay. One of my favorite boundary tools. So when I'm talking about boundaries, it's setting work boundaries in your business. I don't know about you. Give me some feedback. Leave me a comment if you get it. As an entrepreneur, it can be easy to like work your business anytime, anywhere, any place, because it's right here on your phone, right? So when I have boundaries, I have work boundaries set up when I am not like accessing my email, social media, anything like that. Like usually I go dark on the weekends. And when I mean dark, I mean totally dark. Like I log off at about 5 p.m. on Friday, and I'm not getting back on and checking my email, business text messages, Facebook messages, YouTube, anything the entire weekend long, not until my workday starts on Monday mornings. And that's usually not even right away early in the morning. It's after I've dropped my kids off at school and I'm just getting started with stuff. So I have really, really strict boundaries of when I work my business. And then I have really strict boundaries of what I say yes to in my business. Okay. And this is where you can really figure out like what gives you life and what like sucks the life out of you. And when you know that, you can start to create a business that gives you freedom because you do those activities and you're like, wow, I would maybe do this for free, right? Like I enjoy it that much. One of my things that helps me stay off of my phone a ton is this little app. I'm going to record a video on it. It'll be coming up, but it basically blocks me from accessing everything and there's no like workaround. So my smartphone really becomes a dumb phone. I have, let's see, maps, because that's an essential on there. It's not blocked. I can access my camera because I want to take pictures of my kids when I'm like with them. And I have access to like phone and text message, but it like pretty much blocks everything out. I get to choose though what in advance what I want. So I'll make a video on that in the future. But so that really helps me establish very clear boundaries. And boundaries, the crazy thing about it is the irony is they give you so much life. Like they give me emotional freedom. Yesterday, after my boys got home from school, I hadn't really worked like any all day long, right? Monday was a heavy work day. Yesterday, I think I popped online for like 5 minutes. That's it. And when they got home from school, we set up a running obstacle outside and I was shooting them with a water gun and we were having so much fun. And I wasn't even thinking or dwelling on business because I was so free from it, right? So much of a freedom focused business is having emotional freedom. And I would challenge you, if you can't stop thinking about your business, your boundaries are probably off. Okay. All right. The next thing that really helps with a freedom focused business is when you can get your traffic, your incoming new leads done on autopilot. Okay. This is one of those things, there's nothing wrong with like prospecting. I'm more of the attraction marketing focus, but when it comes to attraction marketing, there's lots of different types, right? So you could be on Instagram creating reels or TikTok and doing lives, but those things are both very like heavy in terms of you have to be showing up daily to make them work. I prefer YouTube simply because I am getting leads from videos that I made 3 years ago and they're just out there doing their thing while I'm living my life. So a traffic strategy where you're consistently getting new leads, but you don't have to spend time on it daily, to me really helps create a freedom focused business. There are other ways to do this. Okay. So I'm not going to tell you there's only one way. Using Facebook ads could be another way that you create, or online ads, right? It wouldn't just have to be Facebook where you're creating, that total flow of having, those leads coming in consistently. All right. Next, when it comes to how I've set up a freedom focused business where I'm working like 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week max, is I have recurring revenue in all of my revenue streams. Okay. So I have my small business revenue, I have affiliate marketing revenue, I have network marketing revenue, all these things coming in. Every one of them across the board is 100% recurring. Okay. So either, and by that I mean monthly or annual type subscriptions. And not saying that you can't do one off things, but there's a level of freedom in that because it's month after month after month that those payments are coming in. I also believe it does help to have a few different sources of that. Now you can't establish those all at once. Um, that would be another good video, but how to establish multiple income streams and that. But I digress. The point is that when you're looking at creating your offer, I highly recommend having an offer in place that brings in that consistent recurring income. And it doesn't have to be coaching, right? It could be some sort like think of software. It could be something that gets used up. I know like I sell some supplements, they get used up every single month. People buy more. Once people are hooked on it, it's not something that they really ever give up taking, right? Like I will take these every single day and I have been for like 4 years. So it makes sense, right? Like I just keep buying it. It becomes a natural part of my habit in life. Those are really awesome types of recurring revenue to create and have. So when you're making your offer, as a small business owner, you want to be thinking about how can you establish that recurring revenue. All right. And then leverage. When I got started in business, I got so good at the different things I got good at simply because I really lacked time. I don't know what it's like to run a business without having little kids. I started my first business when Xavier, who is 8, was 6, he's 8 now. He was 6 weeks old at the time. And so I never really had like this, I don't know what it's like to run a business where it's like you have 8 hours every single day to just like work or do something, right? Like it was always kind of those nooks and crannies, which I know people kind of hate that phrase, like working your business in the nooks and crannies, but that was me. And one of the things that empowered me in that I got so good at was how to leverage my time, right? Attraction marketing. You leverage your time because the people find you. You're not going out and finding them. I got so good at doing YouTube videos for the same reason, right? It really helped me leverage my time, right? Be one to many. Leverage is such a powerful tool. Hiring a VA, having that person do some of the work for me when I'm doing something else, right? Leveraging my time, really being one to many. I got started with email marketing really before I ever even knew what I was doing in the online marketplace. Like, not even 8 weeks into my first business, I was setting up a simple email funnel and all of that. It's why I so believe every business owner should be using email. It's the best automation that you could have out there. And so that idea of being one to many really, really can create so much freedom in your business. How long would it take you if you had to write like 100 messages and reply and messenger to people versus being able to just like write one message that went out to everyone, but that was still really personable and you? Big deal.